my height in there.
Don't cut off the hair.
The poof.
To be able to fit me and Sam's hair in the same, hopefully it doesn't look too funny.
I'm used to, in pictures, people cutting my about here, because I'm a little bit taller than everyone else normally in a picture. So.
Yeah, we just wanted to hop on a little bit early in case anybody else was on early and make sure that everything was set up. Make sure that our mics were working because...
Yes, please in the comments, let us know if you can hear us okay. We've had some audio issues in the past. So.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it's been crazy. Oh, there we go. There's
it's working
the
now.
chats. Watch me, that's all I shall say. Oh, hey, loud and clear.
Hello everyone,
welcome. I'm
welcome.
so glad the sound's good. Guys, our last video, we were so bummed.
It's been rough, yes.
It's been so rough. And we do have a mic, and we don't know why it hasn't been working properly. And then once we've filmed it, I tried to turn it up, but then there was background noise. And because we don't do it scripted, it's so hard to try to redo a video and have it be as authentic. And
turn out the way it did the first time.
Yeah.
So
hello Canada.
Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you for being here. We're glad to hear that you can hear us okay. We apologize for any audio issues in the past. We are working on that, and from here on out, our videos will have good audio. So.
Yes, getting new mics. We got some Lear mics for things like this. Hi, Latter-day Film guy.
Hey, welcome.
Thanks for joining. So glad. Both are so cute together. Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Hi from Pennsylvania.
She wears off on me. Makes me look better.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Susanna.
Thank you for you that are saying where you're from as well. We love that.
Yeah, it's so fun to see. Portland, Oregon.
Welcome.
Oh, hi. Welcome.
All over the place. Wow.
Yeah. We just wanted to chat. We feel like it's been forever.
Been
these
too long.
Last couple weeks. Oh, hi Kansas.
Hello from Kansas.
It's been a long time, and then we've had so much family stuff going on these last few weeks that it just has felt insane. And we're like, man, we just haven't felt like we've connected with you guys in so long. And so we wanted to come say hi and see what kind of questions you guys still have. Oh, hi London. Oh my goodness, That's awesome. And Vermont and Vancouver.
Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. Canada moving back to work in Thailand.
Wow.
Wow. That's amazing. I want to go visit Thailand.
Hello from Canada.
Vancouver Island, Canada.
Pittsburgh, all right.
Pennsylvania, awesome.
Well, welcome everyone. I'm so happy that so many of you could jump on. I hope this is an okay time for most of you.
I know. Thanks for spending your Friday night with us, right? This is how we party on a Friday night. Hi from Chicago. Hi, my mom is from Chicago.
Yes. She still has the accent, even though she hasn't been there for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, good. Getting into some questions. Sorry, when I'm trying to scroll, I wonder if there's a way to make the chat.
Scrolling.
Yeah, there you go. Do either of you still believe in the Book of Mormon? Jacob 2 is condemning polygamy rather than justifying it.
Jumping right into the difficult question.
The good question. So I know.
Thank you for the question.
Yes, thank you for asking questions. We love it. And no, I no longer believe that the Book of Mormon is a scripture that comes from God. What about you, babe?
Yeah. It's we're in this interesting transition right now where, oh man, this is a long answer. Yeah, keep it simple. But at this moment, no, we do not still believe in it to be the Word of God at this moment.
Yeah. So I know that's
the
short, but that's a good question. Okay, scroll some more, because when you move, okay. Learn a lot from both of you. Thanks. Oh, we're so happy to hear that.
Germany, thanks for being here. Wow.
North Carolina, Blue Ridge Mountains. Makes me think of John Denver. If we come to Thailand, oh my gosh, okay, you better be careful offering us things like that, showing us around.
We love to travel. We love it.
We're obsessed with traveling. And so, yeah, we might take you up on that. So if all of a sudden you hear from us, around Christmas time or something.
Hey, we're here.
Yeah. And I move Clearwater, Florida, Wisconsin. More from Canada. That's awesome. There's so many people from Canada.
Yes.
See, we need to go visit Canada too.
Interesting fact, I've always wanted to visit Canada, and I have not made it out there yet. So I guess up there from where I'm at.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something that I want to do. It's on our bucket list. We'll be there soon, hopefully.
Definitely. Question about Vegas. Shoot. Let's see. Reach out if you come to Thailand. We really will. If we end up going, we'll find.
We'll need a tour guide.
You. Yeah. But it's super interesting what the FLDS communities are like now that they've left, and do they still have religious services in community? That's a great question.
Are you referring to, I assume, the FLDS and in Short Creek, Colorado, and Hilldale City?
That's what it says. Okay. FLDS in Short Creek.
Yes. It is so different now. It's a very different place out there. Most of the people that still follow Warren Jeffs have scattered. They no longer live there. And it is, as far as I'm aware, anyone that follows Warren Jeffs does not have any type of Sunday group or community meeting of any kind. It's more of a family by family thing now.
Yeah, they do church in the home, right?
Exactly. Church is held in the home, and there's one man that's kind of in charge of the family, and then he is the one that conducts all of the meetings and is in charge of all of that.
Yeah.
So it's very different out there. It's that's a great question.
Let's see. Oh yeah, my finger's going back in it. There you go.
I'll do the scrolling here.
Okay, keep going. I think I saw somebody quickly ask about Under the Banner of Heaven.
Hi from Japan. Wow.
Oh, hi.
Welcome.
Oh my goodness. Are you comfortable? Oh, sorry. I should do one question at a time. Under the Banner of Heaven. I've seen some episodes. I did not know about the story with the Laffertys, and yeah, so that was not a story that I was aware of. Obviously, made into television, so
yeah, there are some people out there. We probably be better they not know that we even watch this show.
Well, I'm very curious. I mean, just like when we watch stuff from the LDS Church, you know, and it's interesting to see the way that other people perceive it, and I feel like it's similar with that. Where so I have watched it. Sam hasn't.
I have not seen it. I've heard a lot about it though. People having, not enjoying it at all, or people that find it very interesting. A lot of opinions for sure, and there are things that it's showing that I had no idea about. So I couldn't say for sure if it's accurate history.
Yeah, trying to understand which part's fact and which part is spy stuff for TV. A lot of the church history stuff is kind of hard to muddle through that, and so I don't really have enough of an opinion to be able to say what I think is real or not on that. So I'll probably never do some kind of review or anything on it because I am watching it as a TV show, not as trying to gain church history or something from it.
That being said, we do not claim to know everything. So a lot of the things that we had never heard about may be true in this video. We don't, or in this series. So we do not know for sure. Interesting stuff though we're finding out as well.
Are we comfortable sharing why we don't believe in the Book of Mormon as scripture anymore? Probably not on this live right now, mostly because the reasons I would never want to hurt anybody else's testimony of the scripture. And so, honestly, if you want to have a conversation, an open conversation about any of those type of factual reasons why I don't believe the Book of Mormon is scripture anymore, you should really email us at growingupinpolygamy@gmail.com.
Yes.
And I love having one-on-one conversations that can be very respectful and very open and honest. But I don't want to just give a list on a live because
we try to be respectful of those because we know there are a lot of people that do
believe and in it, we are totally 100% fine with that and respect their choice to believe that it's scripture. And I would never want to come off as bashing that or talking negatively about it.
Yep.
And so if you want to have, like I said, a conversation about that and let's do a one-on-one. Send us an email and I'll and I'll try to get back to you and we can have a conversation about that. You guys have tons of tour guides here in Canada. Oh yeah, that'd be amazing. Australia, hello.
Hey everyone, thank you for being here.
What are the top 3 places to visit for a first timer in Las Vegas?
Ooh, that is a great question. I would say most people, the first thing they do is they go to the Strip because that's kind of the most popular. Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff, and sometimes people think or don't realize that there's a lot of family-friendly stuff to do, Coke World, M&M World. I'm going and looking at the gardens at the Mirage and the Bellagio.
Lots of really nice restaurants. We love food, so whenever we go to
Yeah.
a new place, we like to find the best restaurants. So we love the restaurants.
I'd say like a cute little outdoor type mall place that has like really a lot of good restaurants and kind of fun is Town Square.
Yes.
It's clear on the very south end, not really on the strip anymore, like very far south. But Town Square, it's super cute. We love going there on date night, and there's lots of restaurants to choose from, lots of cute shops, especially around Christmas time. It's like all magical and lit up. So
Yes,
Town Square is really
beautiful.
good. I guess that's probably top two. I mean, the strip you kind of got to do.
I mean, everyone, if you come to Vegas, you at least have to go to the strip and see what it's all about. I would say because that's the main attraction, and there's a lot on there. You know, there's the light show, and there's of course lots of casinos, and you know, depends on the person. Some people may or may not like that, but there's just a lot of different things to do. A lot of fun shopping as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fun shopping.
So.
Hopefully that helps answer a little bit. I love to hear videos from Canada. Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Loving watching the cruise ship sail by our house again. We
Oh my
love
goodness.
cruise ships.
We've
We
been-
love cruising so
yes,
much.
We've been on a couple of cruises already this year and plan to go on some more. So
Yeah, it's funny because every time we go on vacation, I always tell someone, I'm like, oh, like we should make a video, but then I don't want to disappoint you guys if it's not about like polygamy or religion. So I guess leave a comment if you would ever want to see some of our travel stuff, because we love traveling, we love going on cruises, and that's
So-
kind of like our passion. Like if you
Yeah.
could say like what's our biggest hobby, or people are like, oh, what do you guys do for fun? It's really
it's travel.
travel.
And
That's
we
what
love
do
to cruise.
all the time.
So maybe if leave some comments below if that's something you'd be interested in. Maybe it would be a different channel idea even.
Yeah. Listeners, son in common since parents were in polygamy. Oh, but not from Short Creek. Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
That's very interesting, Jennifer.
I wonder which group he was from.
Yeah. Post and let us know, Jennifer, which group your husband's from.
I know a lot of them, but there's a lot I don't know as well as far as the polygamous groups go.
Yeah, there's a lot. We were actually talking to the woman who wrote Stolen Innocence. She testified against Warren Jeffs. We might do a video with her in the future. Very, very sweet lady. Really, really enjoyed getting to talk to her for a little bit. And she was talking about how there's like 75 split off groups from the mainstream LDS church that practice polygamy, that each have at least 5,000 members.
Way more than I thought.
75 like
Yes.
registered is what she said, and it
Most
was
of
blowing
them-
my mind.
Most of those are in Utah, it sounds like. So,
Yeah.
but they're all split offs from the mainstream Mormon church.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
How are we doing? We are so good, guys.
Thank you. We're doing
Thanks.
great. Thanks
Yeah,
for asking.
doing awesome. Got to go do some family shopping and grab some food, and happy to be here now.
And our kids are just running around, so if they pop into the video here and there, don't mind.
Yes. Hi from Chile.
Wow.
What was your favorite part of your
Hola.
mission there?
¿Qué parte de Chile? Sorry, was there a question?
Yeah, it said what was your favorite part of your mission in Chile?
Oh my goodness. I would say the people, the culture. It was just a blast. I loved every minute of it. Such wonderful, wonderful people there. I felt like most everyone I ran into would have literally given me the shirt off their back. Just very loving people. So thank you for accepting me and having me, because everyone that I met was it was a great experience. So I was in little bit in Santiago, not too much, mostly in Viña del Mar and Valparaíso, that area. So it was beautiful, beautiful.
We can't wait to go back.
Yes.
It's on the list for sure. The temple here is offering tours, but I thought it had to be cleansed if non-believers went in, like when they first opened. Is this true? So non-believers can go, there's open houses where people can go through and walk through before it's dedicated, is what
Yes.
it's called. So once it's dedicated, then you have to be an active member with a temple recommend.
Yes.
But before that, they do have open houses so that people can go through and see. And so if you have a chance to do an open house, I would definitely suggest it. It's very cool.
Yeah,
They're
it's
very, very
Beautiful
beautiful.
inside, yes.
Are you still uploading podcasts? Okay. True confessions.
Oh,
I
boy.
have just been
You caught us.
I have just been lazy, and I'm so sorry. Like I said,
We-
this last month has just been like absolutely insane with so many activities and stuff for our family, and we were on vacation to Disneyland, and honestly, the podcast, I really just need to get back to doing it, and it's been purely my laziness and having time and just trying to even do videos.
We feel like we've been slacking in both the podcast and the YouTube channel recently.
We're really sorry.
Because of so much going on in this last month. But this live is a kickstart. We're coming back, and we're going to start focusing on it a little bit more, and hopefully have some more videos more frequently and all that coming out as well.
Yes. So I will get podcasts. You know, I'm glad you reminded me, honestly, because it's one of those things that I feel like the podcast kind of gets lost in the jumble for me. But yeah, I can upload the ones that we have, the audio that we have so far, and try to get those back up and running. And I will definitely, our video this next week, I will for sure put it as a podcast and try to catch up on those.
Yes.
So I apologize for that.
And for all of you that are waiting for some of these interviews we have with other people from out there in the FLDS community, some of the women and the man, we do have those scheduled and coming up as well. Sorry it's taking so long, but it is on its way.
Yeah, staying at Circus, that'll be fun. We love Circus, the amusement park in there is super fun. We took our kids like just last year. Like we really enjoy it.
It's actually, I was there when I was a lot younger, and we just recently went back, and it was a lot more fun than I had remembered actually. So we had a good time, a lot of fun to do there.
Unpopular opinions, awesome. I would love to email you back. So definitely, shoot me that email.
Yep.
Within the FLDS community, was the more of a fraternal feeling towards the mainstream LDS believers, or were all other Christian denominations viewed in the same light? So, actually, they thought that the LDS were the great and abominable church.
Yes.
If you're familiar with LDS in the Book of Mormon.
Yes, it talks about the great and abominable church in the Book of Mormon. And I'm not saying that they taught us that necessarily. I don't remember my parents actually saying that to me, but it just kind of was an assumption. It was kind of what the feeling of it was. Well, the mainstream LDS church is doing everything, we were taught was doing everything wrong, and we were doing everything right. And because they were so many more in number, we just kind of, they became the great and abominable church in our eyes. So it was interesting in that conversation with, when I was still able to talk a little bit with my mother back in the day, having that conversation when she found out that I was actually joining the mainstream LDS church, she was not too happy about that.
Because they think the LDS, they're so, so close, but they were veered off by an incorrect prophet. And so that's a pretty big deal. If you didn't leave the FLDS when you did, do you think you would have ever left?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just saw another comment there. What was the question?
If you hadn't left when you did, do you think you would have ever left?
Yes, I do think I would have left. It seemed like after I left, things just kept getting a little bit more and more and more intense, and the rules were more crazy, and things started happening that would have probably scared me off. and it was a matter of time for me. I knew that I was going to leave after I turned 18 years old. I just didn't know when.
Yeah.
So I would have left eventually.
Love the Tournament of Kings. Oh, we went to the Tournament of Kings.
We loved that.
In January, we loved that as well. That is a good one.
More realistic than I thought it would be, to be honest. It was really good. And I loved eating the chicken with my hands, so it was fun.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Duggar family not accepting any responsibility or accountability under the guise of religion? I don't know a lot about the Duggar family, honestly. And so
we should do more research on them. I've seen them.
A lot of people ask.
I actually went and followed them on YouTube because I've heard about them and I have their videos pop up once in a while, but I haven't had a chance to really watch all of them and see what they're all about yet.
Yeah. So. Have we been contacted to be on Mormon Stories? We have not been
yet.
Contacted. If they did contact us, we would be happy to do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you reach out to them and say you want them to interview us, I feel like they're so busy and so big that I never want to be like, hey. So if you guys convince them, we would love to do that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. And we have had some of our subscribers here reach out and tell us that they did message Mormon Stories and ask them to reach out to us. So I'm not really sure how that works. I assume they reach out to people and invite them on.
So I think it's most of the time it's like invitation. At least that's what I would feel like, because I know how big they're getting and how busy they are. And so.
And I mean, we do these little short videos. Their episodes, I guess you would call them, are hours long sometimes.
Yeah, well, it's a podcast, so it's just really
right.
long.
So they do a lot longer, and it might just be something that they don't have time yet. So we'll see.
Oh, we need to hurry because we are lagging behind on these comments. Sorry,
Oh,
guys.
let's
Okay.
go.
Travel blog. Yes, I'd love to learn more about you, not just your past. Would love to see videos on your travels.
Oh, good to know.
Think would be
Thank
great
you.
on Mormon stories. Contact them. Thank you. Hi from Australia.
Welcome.
Virginia. Welcome, welcome. Travel blog. You didn't want that, so it doesn't talk much about it. Oh, about I think it's Jennifer's father didn't talk a lot about which polygamous group he came from.
Oh, okay. And you know what? Everyone has different experiences. I know some people that don't want to talk about the FLDS where they came from because their experiences weren't that great. So
Yeah.
I feel very blessed and to be one of the lucky ones that didn't have a horrible experience.
Yeah.
So.
Cruising with Sam and Melissa. I can see it now. Yes, yes, yes. There you go. Cruising with Sam and Melissa. That would be so
Tracy.
fun.
Okay, well.
Okay.
Something else to think about here. Maybe
Yes.
maybe I'll have to quit my full-time job and focus more on this. We'll see.
I would not complain. There's this guy in Argentina fighting for a law against coercive organizations such as those
Hey,
churches.
someone from Viña del Mar.
Yeah.
Hey, hello, hello.
Hello from Uruguay,
Hola, hola.
Chilean people. I was just in Short Creek having a fundraiser for Voices for Dignity. I was there raising funds for the Edson Academy, a school for FLDS children. Oh, that's so wonderful.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see someone else. Okay.
You now go to an Assembly of God church. Start to learn.
I may need glasses. I'm having a hard time seeing these from this distance.
Oh, that's so sweet. Cass said, sorry, totally random. My 7-year-old just ran into the room and without seeing you both said, wow, they have kind voices. Oh, that makes my heart so happy. That is so sweet.
Well, thank you, 7-year-old. Very sweet.
That's so nice. I saw your house when I was in the creek. Oh, they saw your house when they were out there.
Yeah, it's not the same as it used to be. Last I saw, anyway, it was full of weeds, or at least the yard was. So I hope someone moves in and does something about it.
Thanks for sharing. As a Catholic from England, this is all completely new to me. Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, so many of...
No,
yeah, it's so normal for
always,
us.
Yes, it's always kind of been a dream for me to visit other people in other states and other countries and talk about their experiences as well. So one of these days, I hope I'll get a chance to do that about their religious beliefs and experiences.
Yeah, Rob said it's odd how FLDS groups dislike the mainline church, yet use the same scriptures of Jesus found in a desert book. It is kind of funny, but I feel like it's kind of similar to the fact that the LDS church uses the King James Version Bible, and yet there are so many differences in the way that other Christian faiths interpret the Bible versus the way that the LDS faith interprets the Bible. And so,
they read the same scripture. The FLDS read the same scripture as the mainstream LDS church, but they interpret it in a very different way. Hello from Sweden.
Hi.
But I will point out one fact here, though. In the FLDS, they actually do not use the mainstream LDS green hymn book. They use the old hymn book, the brown one. Yes, so I grew up only ever seeing and singing out of the brown hymn book, never the green.
Yeah.
So
interesting little things. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who's joining.
Hello.
Oh, I always forget to say this. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up button, that helps the channel and helps reach more people. So if you don't mind doing that, I'm so bad at remembering to say that or ask that.
I know. Or to subscribe. All of that stuff we always forget. So
yeah.
Thank you for doing it anyway, for being here.
What happens to boys or girls in both LDS and FLDS communities who are gay or lesbian? Do they have to live a double life?
Yes.
You start with FLDS.
With FLDS, yes. The answer is simply yes. It was not allowed. If someone ever had any type of those feelings or at least would talk about them or showed any interest in that type of feeling, they would be sent away. They would not be allowed to be there. It was the answer was no, you couldn't do that at all.
Yeah, so the LDS, just in my lifetime, a lot of things have changed in the way that they handle their treatment of gays. But basically, you would have to live a completely celibate life. They don't say that it is against anything to be gay, but you cannot act on those gay feelings. So it's the actions, not the feelings that are the sin. So you would have to live completely celibately or, in order to be able to have the normal LDS, to be in good standing with the LDS church, I guess. So it's a little tricky with the LDS. They're definitely a lot more tolerant and loving than the FLDS. You can be gay and still be a member of the church. but you just would not be able to.
The LDS mainstream LDS church has kind of changed with the times a lot more than the FLDS. The FLDS they say, nope, this is the way it is. This is what it says in the book, and that's how it is. No matter what anyone says or feels, it's not changing, and that's kind of something that they have, I guess, taken pride in not ever changing. So. Oh,
someone said we hear your baby's voice. We'll just say hi. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
This is Lila.
Yeah.
How old are you?
5.
5. That's the voice you're hearing in the background. We'll just say hi real quick, and then can you go with brother so he's not alone, please?
But,
I might have to head out in a second if they need me. But can you go help with brother?
yes, so when we was watching the football, one of their songs, they showed us videos of baby Jesus.
Oh,
wow.
Yay. Okay, go with brother, please.
Go play with brother for a little bit. We'll be done soon.
Love to see John Olin interview you. Your story's perfect for that show. Thanks. What was your favorite and least favorite part about being FLDS and or LDS?
Oh boy. Well, I'll start with FLDS.
Yeah.
So
favorite and then least favorite.
So my favorite, I would say, was when I was there anyway, was growing up as a young boy, the sense of community and closeness of family, the importance that was taught about being together as a family and just kind of doing everything as a family. I feel like we did a lot together. We were a very close family. We were taught to work hard and work hard together. So there wasn't anything or at least we felt, there wasn't anything we couldn't come together as a family and figure out how to do or how to accomplish, because we would all kind of do it together. So that was fantastic, and I loved that within the FLDS. And then as far as things that I didn't like, I would just say we weren't allowed to really be ourselves. For example, if we had feelings towards someone, for example, if I had feelings towards another girl out there and I wanted to go on a date, couldn't do it, not allowed. Really, anything we wanted to do, it was we were told what we had to do, and everything was kind of dictated. So there wasn't a lot of freedom.
Yeah. I'd say with LDS, my favorite thing would probably be the same thing, the sense of community, sense of guidance. I really liked rules growing up. So the LDS church was great for me because I felt like it was all very clear, black and white.
Yeah. She likes her lists.
I like my lists.
Yes.
I like that you do this and you don't do that. So all of that I feel like gave me a sense of like safety and security growing up in it. And then the community obviously felt amazing to have so many friends and a good sense of community. I'd say that my least favorite thing would be probably guilt and shame.
Yeah.
Just that if you didn't do the things on the list properly, I would feel guilt and shame for them. And, it's hard to be perfect.
Yeah.
Growing up, it's impossible to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. And so that was hard to carry guilt and shame for not being perfect and constantly feeling like you weren't doing enough.
Yeah, I would agree with that as far as the LDS as well.
Yeah.
Hello from Utah. Not too far.
How do the FLDS feel about people of color? We did do a video on that, so go check that out. The short answer is they believe that it's a curse.
Yeah.
Curse from Cain and Abel, that when Cain killed Abel, his skin was turned dark. So that's the short answer, but go check out our video. Yeah. My parents were by Warren in 99. Oh, remind some of you. Oh my gosh, she's a mini Melissa. Thank you.
She is.
Oh, thanks. Most important guy was really charming. Can you understand how the LDS leaders get to where they are?
LDS or FLDS?
I think the LDS.
The LDS leaders, it's a lot of them were born into the church or were converts to the church, and then they just they receive callings, sometimes local callings, and for example, there's callings within the ward, and it's just like there's lots of them, but sometimes it starts with local callings, and then as they do really well and succeed in these callings, they are given more and more callings and kind of move up that way.
How is the temple? Okay, so temple endowment in the FLDS, and when do the FLDS wear garments? So the temple, and they don't do temple endowment.
In the FLDS, they do not. Now there was the temple that was in Texas for a little bit. I was never a part of that. I don't know what they were doing inside of that temple, but they didn't have it for that long before the law enforcement came and took it away from them. So, but as far as I'm aware, we were given garments that we wore at age 8. At age 8, we were baptized and we would start wearing those garments, but no temple ceremonies for us.
Yeah. Were there any righteous Gentiles? Like, what if a Gentile showed up and was open to the church and fully believed it?
Well, there were some converts to the FLDS church.
So
not a lot, but there were some that came and expressed their feelings of wanting to be a part of it and that they believed in it. And there were some that I know of that were actually baptized and became members of the FLDS church.
His father's first wife was a convert from
true.
LDS to FLDS.
That's true. Yeah.
So there are some people that.
So it did happen.
That way. Hello, Maine.
Wow, welcome.
That video, I followed so many I do remember that video. I follow so many ex-polygamists I can't keep up. We don't blame you. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm glad the audio is better. Hello from Ohio. Mormon Stories interviewing us. Oh, thank you. Look here. Oh, thank you guys so much. Okay, now I'm at least caught up.
Are we officially caught up with all the comments?
Sorry if we were lagging too far behind on the questions.
And sorry if we skipped any comments or questions as well.
We were coming through.
Kind of trying to scroll down as fast as possible.
Question from Melissa. How was your first temple experience? I heard a lot of ex-Mormons say that they found it really strange. I would say a better word would be overwhelming. I would say overwhelming. Even when I was very active and we went to the temple regularly, I would always tell people that the first time you go through the temple, you really need to go 2 or 3 more times really soon thereafter to fully understand everything that's going on and happening. For girls, I think it's a little bit of a disadvantage when you get you go through for your endowment the day before you get married. Okay, so
unless you serve a mission.
Unless you serve a mission. Mm-hmm. But if you are getting endowed for the purpose of getting married, it's normally within like a week beforehand. And for me, it was the day before. And so, I mean, think of what any girl is thinking of the day before their wedding, processing everything that happens in a temple experience and a temple endowment. I don't feel like I had a lot of time to like process it because when it was over and we left, I was instantly in wedding mode, and I was like, okay. And so there's definitely things that I thought were strange, wanted to understand better. And in order to feel like more comfortable, I went back we went back 2 or 3 times, like pretty soon after getting married together.
Very regularly.
And then, we went every single month for a date until I was too pregnant to fit in my dress with our first baby. Mm-hmm. So we went very regularly. There were definitely things in the beginning I found strange, but then the more I went, the more I got used to them.
Came to terms with it and all of that, yeah. So I think everyone, I mean, even for the men, it was definitely, I guess you could say strange. It was a lot of things you had no idea about, and then for the first time when you went through the temple, you learned about it. So
yeah, I think that's part of it too, why it seems so strange is because you don't know.
Right. Yeah.
You have like temple prep classes that kind of prepare you for the covenant part, like the promises that you'll be making, but they don't tell you what that looks like. And so I feel like not knowing, anything's going to seem strange when you have in your head, you're like making up in your head what you think it might be like, and then it's nothing like that. Then it just feels a little odd at first. But
sorry if I'm blinking a lot. This air conditioning is drying out my
Hello,
eyes.
Canada. Hello, Michigan.
From Canada. So many from Canada here.
Hello. I just wonder how they perceive the endowment. Oh, can you scroll down just a little more? Yep. Thanks. I just wonder how they perceive the endowment then, since it seemed to be important in Joseph Smith and Brigham Young. It is interesting. I will say that is like the one thing the FLDS, I always joke that I'm like, man, the way that Joseph Smith had the church, the FLDS follow a lot more closely than the mainstream LDS, except for the temple. And
they had a very simple excuse for it, of course. My assumption is they just didn't have the means to build a temple, but they would tell us that the reason there wasn't a temple is because the time for a temple was not now. That Jesus Christ was going to return, and after he returns and during the millennium, that the temples would be built and the work for the temple work would begin, and during those 1,000 years of the millennium is when all that work would be done. So I was told that temples weren't needed yet at that point.
And the LDS Church still believes that during the millennium is going to be a huge time as well for temple work. So they both believe in that happening in the millennium. Obviously, the LDS are just getting a head start on it here in this time, this day and age. Just started binge watching your channel. Love it. Oh, thank you so much.
You.
Virginia, hello. I'm going through a bit of a deconstruction and reconstruction. I'm wondering if you have any advice as people who have done this already. Oh, hello. So for the state of Alaska, advice going through it is to, I guess my biggest piece of advice would be to just take your time and let yourself feel all the emotions and not feel like it sounds weird to say, don't feel like you have to feel a certain way. I don't know a better way to put that, but everybody processes it differently.
Yeah.
Everybody's reconstruction looks different. Where you're going to end up, don't feel like you have to end up in a certain place. Don't feel like you have to end up, with no religion. Don't feel like you have to end up Christian. Don't feel like you have to go back. Just taking the time to truly find where you want to be and where your heart is leading you to, instead of any pressures that you have to do it a certain way, because everybody's is different.
Yes, and that's why it's a little tough to give advice. We can share our stories and all of that, but as far as sharing advice, everyone's experience is a little bit different. For me, I feel like it's very important to have someone to talk to. To go through it alone is, I wouldn't say impossible, but it's very difficult. So if there's anyone, I'm not sure what your situation looks like. I hope you have people to talk to that are going through similar situations as you are, and just having that time. Luckily, Melissa and I had each other, so we sat down and we were able to talk it all out, and we had a lot of similar beliefs and things like that. So it made it a lot easier to talk to each other.
And those evolved a lot over the course of, I would say, 2 full years. Like, it evolved a lot of where we thought, if you would have told me where I thought we were going to end up at the beginning of our journey and where we ended up, it would be comical.
Just when we thought we had it all figured out, we learned something else, we discovered something else, we talked more, and we decided we wanted something else. So it's a continuous journey. I feel that even now, I don't claim to know everything. We're still learning. We're still learning, and I think it's just important to have someone to go through it with.
Yeah, and I will just also say that if you don't have someone to go through it with, please email us at growingupinpolygamy@gmail.com. Please reach out. I love being able to talk to people openly, have an open conversation, and I don't know, we would love to be able to share some love through email.
Exactly. And sometimes it's easier to have that one-on-one with someone with these type of discussions, because everyone's experience is so unique. So it'd be easier to base our emails or our conversations on your specific experience and situation.
Yeah, but if you don't have support at home, we would love to be your support. So.
Yes, we would. Okay, let's see here. Good evening.
Hi. Did you as children have any contact with like cartoons, classic stories such as Pinocchio and stuff?
Yes and no. So when I was younger in the FLDS church, we weren't allowed to have TV. There were a couple of videos we were allowed to watch. So, but only if my father was present in the room. We weren't allowed to watch movies even if the mothers were there. So. And they were very specific. I mean, we saw Bambi, we saw Winnie the Pooh, we saw Sound of Music, we saw some National Geographics. That's about the extent of it. There wasn't a lot. So we were allowed to see some, but not many.
Yeah, not a whole lot of just going on.
Didn't get to see any of the princess movies or anything like that.
When I want the guys having crushes on the princesses.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the history of Maxwell Park? It was a ranch, and there's something about a marriage trail to the temple. Have you heard about that?
A marriage trail to the temple. I have not heard about that. No. No. I guess I have to have some research to do, huh?
Yeah.
The story about Maxwell Park. Maxwell Park, I guess you could say, was my father's baby when he was the mayor out there. He was kind of overseeing it and was in charge of the park, making sure that it was the grounds were kept and all of that. So it was something I spent a lot of time at that park growing up. It's beautiful. Still love to go back there.
Have you watched Jordan and McKay, their YouTube channel? Their Xlds can give very in-depth looks at what exactly goes on inside the temple, along with all the whatnots. I have heard of them. I've seen a couple of their videos come up on our feed. So yeah, I have heard of them. I watched their Mormon stories, watched part of their Mormon
when they
stories.
Were on Mormon Story, yes.
They seem like a nice couple. Are you currently practicing Mormons? No, you're not currently practicing.
Not. It's been a couple of years now at this point.
Yeah. Thanks for putting out such great content. I love that you're always so kind, even when you aren't agreeing with others' beliefs. Oh, thank you so much, Morgan. That means so much to us.
We try to be respectful, so thank you for noticing.
Do you have thoughts on why so many people are leaving the LDS? Is the church changing, or are people just realizing because the internet makes so much information available now?
I would say some of both.
That's a tricky question.
Some of both. It does seem like there's a lot of people leaving right now. It depends on who you ask. Everyone has different answers to why they believe that they're leaving, but I believe there is a lot more information available to everyone now on the internet, like you say, and then there is some changes that the church is making that have made some people upset or to just disagree with, and there's also some other ones that the church, some stances that the church has taken that they're not willing to make these changes that some people believe they should be making with the times. And so I believe it's some of both that so many people are leaving at this point. Yeah. And it seems like a lot of younger people are leaving too.
Sorry, I was talking too loud.
No.
But
she's a part of the video now.
I kind of overheard. I agree. A little bit of both.
Anything else to add? A little bit of both?
Honestly, I didn't really hear a
simple
whole lot of what you were
question.
saying. But yeah, a little bit of both, a little bit. Is there a difference between the terms Mormon and Latter-day Saints? So it's the same group of people for years and years, like hundreds, for like over 100 years. Mormons was just a nickname because of the Book of Mormon. And so we were called Mormons. And then even like my childhood prophets of Gordon B. Hinckley and Thomas S. Monson. I don't know if some of you may remember like the I Am a Mormon campaign, people using that term. And then the most recent prophet, Russell M. Nelson, came out and said that it needed to, people needed to refer to it by the
actual
name of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is kind of long, which is another reason why people used to say Mormon. But LDS just stands for Latter-day Saints.
Yep.
And so that's the shortened version that members now are told they should use.
Latter-day Saints.
Yeah. Latter-day Saints. So if you hear LDS, that is just a more respectful, well, I shouldn't say more respectful, it's more respectful to what the church wants their members to use for themselves.
Correct.
They don't want to call themselves Mormons anymore. They want to be called LDS, or members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure why it's suddenly changed. I mean,
it was in a conference talk.
It was in a conference talk, so there is that. If you want to look that up, why the name change or why it's important now to not refer to them as Mormons. But most people know the LDS Church as the Mormon Church, so I guess that's probably still the most widely known name, but it's just, I guess it can come across a little bit disrespectful now.
Yeah, and just so you know, if we ever say it too, I never mean disrespect by it, because my entire childhood, it was just a couple years ago, so I had 30 years of my life being proud to be a Mormon. So that was something that was always near and dear to me. I'm a Mormon, I'm a Mormon. That whole campaign where we were supposed to stand proud and say that we were Mormons.
Yeah.
And then it was actually right as we were having our faith transition and kind of leaving the Mormon Church that Russell M. Nelson said, hey, don't call us, like, we don't want to say Mormons anymore because we're taking Christ's name out of it. And so for me, it's never out of disrespect. It's just out of habit. And that's how I grew up being proud, was to be Mormon, was like a good thing. So, yeah, it's never out of disrespect if we say it one way or the other. It is purely just out of habit and the love that I have, like, growing up with it.
Yeah, so sorry if it offends anyone, but
Something. Oh, glad that.
you're very welcome.
Very welcome,
In the state of
Alaska.
Alaska. Very welcome, and feel free to email us.
Yeah. What happens in the temple the day before your wedding? Oh, that's when you go through and you take out your endowments and have your endowment ceremony.
Yep.
You two are such great people. I'm so glad. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mormon is the nickname. Exactly. Latter Saints is the official name.
Correct.
Hello. Oh, hi, Jennifer. Alvarez.
Hey, Jennifer.
Hey.
How are you? Long time no see your messages.
What are your thoughts on? You want to say hi again? Stop that for a second. Thoughts on Joseph Smith? Do you think he was intentionally lying, or do you believe in his visions, gold plates? That's a tricky question James, I wish I could answer that on the live. Again, going with I just don't want to come off as disrespectful. If you want to send me an email, James, I would love to respond to you personally and kind of share a little bit more of my insight and the research that I've done and why I feel the way I feel about that, but not something we necessarily want to share publicly on a live as far as Joseph Smith goes.
Yeah, it's not that we have anything to hide. I feel like it just is something that requires a long answer and also a well thought out answer. So.
Yeah. Are you happy you left the FLDS community and also started your own family and went against the grain, I guess, so to speak?
Let's see, Chris. Yes, Chris, very, very happy. I wouldn't change that for the world. So it turned out very well for me. And there are still some moments that I am sad that I can't be with my family, my parents, and some of the siblings that still follow the church out there. But obviously, I'm very happy with my family, and everything worked out very well for me.
Is it hard to not make faces? Yeah. I know, huh? It's so fun when you can see yourself. It's like, Mommy wants to make faces too. Do you have community in Vegas to share with your children? So we have family in Vegas, and then we're only 2 hours away from St. George. So we have a lot of family support and a lot of good friends down here that we have a great community of friends and family.
Yes, we have a lot of friends and family around us. So.
Did the FLDS, you're talking your mouth, cutie. Did the FLDS teach about the stone in the hat as the translation? Oh, the seer stone. The
seer stone in the hat. So it's not something that was talked about a lot, but it is on the church website now. That they do openly talk about that. So I didn't find out through the church necessarily. I heard from other people and friends that said, "Hey, have you heard of this?" And so it's one of those things that I think is talked about a lot more now because it's I guess more available. The information is more available now, but not something that we heard much about before when we were still strong, actively going to church and all of that. I didn't hear much about that. So, sorry, Melissa had to step out for a minute here. She will be back though. Do you find that most LDS believers turn to other Christians' faith, or does that? So, do we find that most LDS members turn to other Christian faiths? So that is something that I believe is common. It's something that happens a lot, and that's one of the reasons I believe that I felt so comfortable when I left the FLDS church to join the mainstream LDS church. I think that's one of the reasons I felt so comfortable making that transition, because it was something that I was familiar with. For example, growing up, we were taught about a lot of the same scriptures, the Book of Mormon, the Bible, and the Doctrine and Covenants, all of those. In the FLDS church, we were also taught about all of those scriptures. So to make the transition to the LDS church was something that definitely was going against some of the teachings of my parents growing up, But as far as the belief and the scriptures and all of that, it was very similar. And I think that when someone goes through a situation where they leave their faith or something like that, that's such a big part of their life, they need something that feels comfortable still. They need something that they can turn to. And so for me, turning to something that felt familiar and to have a family that took me in and was so loving and kind towards me, that love that I felt is something that I believe, or I was feeling what I thought was the Spirit, because it was so much love. And so I felt like I was being directed to make that transition. So I feel like it's very common for people to leave one. Oh, here you go, you're back. To leave one and then go to another belief that's similar. I think that's very common. So let's see here. What's the things that started your journey?
Do you want me to do that one?
Sure.
So our journey kind of started. I was asked to speak in stake conference. For those of you who don't know what that is, a ward or congregation normally has a couple hundred people, and then you have multiple wards make up a stake. And twice a year, there's stake conference where you do church all together as a stake. And I was asked to speak in stake conference, which was a big honor, and I was excited and nervous and all the things. And as I was preparing for that talk, I was talking to Sam about it, and it all started with me just asking Sam. I said, man, I was reading through the scriptures and the teachings of Jesus Christ, and I said, do you ever feel like what Jesus Christ asked of us and what the church asks of us are like two very different things? As far as like a list, like what Jesus Christ, what his list for us to return back to our Heavenly Father is, and then the list that I felt like we had in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has for us. And so that is honestly what kind of started it. And obviously there was a lot of journey afterwards, but that was what started it.
I think what really started our questioning was when we both realized that we were there for each other. When we both realized that we weren't the only ones that had questions.
Yeah.
Right? So it said when one of us came to the other person and said, hey, I have a question about this. And then I said, oh, I have a question about this as well. And then I have a question about this other topic, you know? And so when we realized that we were both open to discussing the I guess, concerns or questions we had, that is where we then were able to talk about all of the other questions that we had as well on top of that. So, but it started out with a very simple question. I had served a mission, and so I felt like I had most of the answers.
I felt that way too. I thought he had most of the answers, so he was a good person to go to.
That's why she came to me to ask about that. And it was a very simple question, you know, and it was about whether or not we felt that the teachings of Jesus Christ were more simple or different, like Melissa said.
Yeah, more simple than the churches.
And so then we started researching that and trying to find that out. And anyway, one thing led to another, but it was a very long journey.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the start of it. That was the start of it, though.
Thank you.
How do ward assignments work? Territories, kind of like school districts, honestly. It's just a big map on the wall, and they say, okay, these neighborhoods go to this ward, depending on how many ward members there are or how many LDS members there are. Your ward could either be, you know, really wide as far as land goes, or if they're like when we lived in St. George, Utah, it was only like our one subdivision and another small subdivision made up an entire ward because there were enough members in just those two communities to make up a whole congregation.
In places like St. George and northern Utah areas, I mean, there's a chapel on almost every block.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many, and so yes, they were a lot smaller. But in Chile, some of the places I served in Chile, I mean, members would have to drive for sometimes up to an hour to get to their building.
To get to church.
So there weren't as many members, and so the buildings were a lot more spread out, or the wards were a lot bigger, I guess you could say.
Yeah. What do you think of the current prophet of the LDS Church? Heard that he's more progressive and not as popular with the older crowd. President Nelson, like I said, he became prophet kind of not too long before we started having our faith transition. So I don't know if I really have as much of an opinion on him. I will say that he's kind of in a tough spot, like where you were saying, between the older crowd and the more progressive crowd. because there are a lot of things that in order to appeal to the younger generations, you're going to have to be able to change with the times and have the church change and be more progressive, or else you're not going to be able to keep the younger generation. And a lot of those progressive things, there have been multiple things that he's done to try to be more progressive, that yes, the people who have been members their entire lives for 60 years are saying, I defended the old way we did it for 60 years, and now you're saying that everything I defended back then doesn't matter because now there's new revelation being more progressive. And so I feel like he's in a tough spot, honestly. Like, I don't envy him trying to please the progressives and the traditional LDS members.
The saying, you can't please everyone, I think is very true in this situation.
Yeah.
And I don't know that the church is setting out to please everyone, or if they are doing what they believe is the best thing for the church moving forward. I'm not really sure. I can't read their minds, but it seems like they're trying to juggle it the best they can to try to make everyone happy by not changing too much, but changing enough so that the progressive people are more willing to go along with it. So it's
he's in a tough spot. I'll say that more than whether or not what I think of him. I just say
we don't have any strong opinions about him personally, though.
Yeah. Hi, Florida.
Welcome from Florida.
Thought I was solo. No, you're not solo. We're happy you're here, Dustin. One of your favorite life changes you've experienced that made leaving worth it?
Oh man. So sorry, what's the question exactly here? Sorry, I misunderstood.
It says, what are your favorite life changes you've experienced that made leaving worth it?
Oh, leaving the FLDS worth it?
Yeah.
Well, being able to choose my own spouse. that was very nice to be able to choose who I wanted to marry. And just being able to set my mind to something and do it, not have to do something because that's what I'm told to do. Because I feel like if you make the decision for yourself, then you're a lot more motivated to do it and to make it happen, rather than if you're just going along with it because that's what you're forced to do, or that's what you feel that you're being told to do, and that's what you have to do, right? So
it's definitely more fulfilling.
Right, a lot more fulfilling. So for example, the option and the decision I made to go to college, right? Not something that was very popular or that many people were allowed to do out there in the FLDS church, but after I moved out and I made that decision, it was very fulfilling. Very difficult at first, but it was very fulfilling to be able to accomplish something like that for me and just make that decision for myself. So I would say just being able to make decisions for myself and seeing that through would be one of the biggest.
Yeah. We got, how does someone become the prophet? Is it a vote or someone has a personal revelation and then convinces others? Well, it depends on if you're talking about the FLDS or the LDS.
Very different between the two religions.
Yeah, Christine, let us know which religion you want the answer to. I have a feeling now that I say that you might want the answer to both. So maybe we should just do that.
We'll answer both really fast. I'll start with the FLDS really quickly.
Yeah, and I'll do those. Go ahead.
In the FLDS church, there wasn't really any rhyme or reason. It was a revelation by the prior prophet sometimes. In Warren Jeff's situation where he became prophet, Reuben Jeffs, his father, was so sick for many years before he died that there were some times where Warren was just speaking for him and was kind of making the decisions for him because he wasn't really able to make a lot of those decisions or to be in front of the people. So in that case, Warren Jeffs kind of became the prophet by default because he was the one that was kind of running the show before his father died, and he was so close to his father and doing everything his father was telling him to do that he kind of became the prophet by default. And of course, there were a lot of members that were close to the Jeffs family that had their so-called revelations that Warren Jeffs was supposed to be the next prophet, and so a lot of people believed them. And then Warren Jeffs, because he was already kind of speaking for the people and speaking in front of the people every Sunday, he just stood up and announced himself as the new prophet, and people believed him.
Didn't some people leave too? When he became prophet, some people did go to Centennial Hills.
The majority of people, yes, but the majority of people did follow Warren Jeffs, but some of them disagreed with him. Some of them believed that other men should be the prophet, like Winston Blackmore and another one, I forget his name. But so some people just left and no longer followed Warren Jeffs at that point. But but the big movement from Colorado City and Hilldale to Centennial, that was actually when Roy Johnson, the prophet before Reuben Jeffs, was when he died.
Oh, okay.
So when the Jeffs family took over, that's when that kind of happened. So
in the LDS, it's a lot different. They do still pray on it when a prophet passes away, but for the last, I don't even know how many, my entire life, and I think beyond before that, it was the senior apostle. So whoever had been the apostle for the longest amount of time, then would become the prophet. Again, they would still like pray about it and have counsel about it, but I've never seen it in my lifetime ever not go that way.
yes.
So
it's an unanimous vote, but
Unanimous.
it's unanimous. It's a unanimous vote, but it's always been.
It's always
as long
been
as we've
the
lived.
senior apostle.
The senior apostle.
So whoever's been the apostle, an apostle, the longest out of the 12 apostles, will become the next prophet.
So there is definitely a lot of structure to the LDS church.
Yeah. We did that one. Hi from New Zealand.
Wow, welcome. Thanks
South
for being
America.
here. What part of South America?
Watching LDS material. And LDS. Trying to help me a lot to understand the LDS more. Oh, good. I'm glad,
Good.
Jeffrey. Thank you. Love you, child. Thanks for sharing your story. Thank you. We are so grateful for all of you for watching our story.
Glad to have you here, Jennifer.
Yeah. Hello from Hawaii. Hello.
Oh, Hawaii. We love Hawaii. We've Hawaii. Let's say it correct. We have been there a couple times. Love it there.
They said Joseph Smith took multiple wives to care for those whose LDS husbands had died. Is that what is normally taught?
Oh boy.
So
That's a big one.
that is what we've been taught. That's what I was taught growing up as well. I will just say that there is a lot more to that story. If you go to LDS.org and you look up the wives that he was married to and the timeline of when those were, you'll find out a lot more information on that, and I will let you do your own research. But that was not, from all the research I've done, that is not actually the primary reason, because there were a lot more women that were single or actually still currently married to husbands that were alive that he
there's
married.
a lot of information
But
about
go to
that.
LDS. If you go to LDS.org or go to Family Search and you see you can see the timeline of Joseph Smith, like when he married women, whether or not they were married, whether or not they were mother-daughter. You can go and find all of that out through LDS.org, and I would suggest doing that, and you'll kind of get a better picture. But
Hi, Emily.
Yeah.
And Peggy, oh my goodness.
What's an endowment ceremony? It's an opportunity for you to make covenants in the temple with Heavenly Father. It's kind of the short version of that. We won't go too much into details because it's temple
There's a lot of
stuff.
information out there, though. You could
definitely find it if you want
YouTube it or
to.
Google it and get that information. But yes, it's making covenants, personal covenants with
Heavenly Father.
Heavenly Father.
Yeah. Sam, do you feel bad, for lack of a better word, for now leading some people in Chile towards a religion now that you are not committed to? Ooh, that's a good question, Diane. Oh, it's Diane.
Hi, Diane. How are you? That's a great question. So, I don't know that I feel bad. I feel that I was doing what I believed was the right thing to do. And so it's hard to go back and say, oh, I feel bad for doing that, or I feel bad that now I don't believe the same that I used to believe, and what these people must think of me. You know, it's one of those things that I fully 1,000%, if that were a thing, believed that I was doing the very possible best thing for my life and for the lives of those that I was teaching and those that I was spending time with. So I don't know that I regret it. I feel that it was a special experience. It was a very special experience. If any of the people that I taught or any of the people that I spent a lot of time with in Chile were to reach out to me and because of questions they have now or whatever the case may be, or trying to understand what my beliefs are now, I'd be more than happy to talk with them and just kind of discuss that and hash it out, I guess you could say. But no, I don't think I feel bad. It would be the short answer.
Do you think the LDS Church is trying to rebrand lately, denying the idea of creating planets and exaltation, dropping the name Mormon, and will this push people towards FLDS type groups? Ooh, you are on fire, James, with some great questions.
Wow.
I would say it's definitely a rebrand in the sense that, like, Russell Nelson, sticking more closely to the name and a new logo. I remember in conference, still watching conference, when Russell Nelson said that there were going to be big changes, and it was a logo change. It was sticking to the name. I think that kind of goes back to what we were saying about, like, the prophet being in a very hard spot, that I feel like there is a certain amount of trying to maybe let go of some of the more odd doctrines of the past. I'm trying to think of the best way to say it, but like the more strange doctrines. When I actually personally saw the essay or the not the essay, it's like an answer to a frequently asked question, the part where they deny that you can have your own planet. And I was taught that while growing up. I was taught that we could become gods and goddesses and we would have our own planets and our own worlds. And I mean, all through seminary, through church my entire life. And so I felt a little bit, I don't want to say betrayed might be the wrong word, but I was like, wait a minute, I know that I was so confused when they said no, because that was always a part of my religion growing up that I thought was extra cool and special.
Right.
And so I actually went to my mom, who is still a true believing LDS member, and I said, hey mom, like this, I read this and it's on the church website, you know, that they're saying that you don't have worlds. Like, I know that I was taught that, and is that what you were taught? And she was like, yeah, why would they try to change that? That's something that always made us unique and special. And so that's definitely hard for people when you feel like something that was unique and special to your religion that you
And
held
taught
closely
for so many years.
and taught for so long, and then for them to deny it feels a little, like I said, betrayal might not be the right word, but it was something that I held close to me, and that was hard. That was a hard thing in the middle of my faith transition to get around those type of changes. And I definitely think that that is pushing a lot of people away. I don't know if it's going to push them towards FLDS, but I think it will push them away from
because
the
there's such a big difference between the LDS church and the FLDS church. It wouldn't be, oh, I don't believe in the LDS church, let's just go and start practicing polygamy, you know, like, because there's things that are so different, they may not. I do think there may be some new groups starting to form, though.
There we go. That's what I was going to say. I was like, however, going back to the fundamentals and saying, listen, if you believe that Joseph Smith restored the gospel of Jesus Christ here on the earth, and I know Russell Nelson has said that the gospel is continuing to be restored. Yep. Okay, so you kind of have two options to go with if you're going to be a true believing member of the LDS church. You have either, you know, the church is continuing to be restored through the current prophet, through Russell M. Nelson. There is that group of people, though, that are going to say Joseph Smith is the one who restored the true gospel of Jesus Christ. It was already fully restored. Yep. And if you believe that, it's easy for people to go fundamentalist.
Right.
That's all I'll say on it. So, and then when they do that, a lot of times it ends up with polygamous groups. Like we said earlier, we found out that there's 75 different polygamous offshoots of the LDS church that all have over 5,000 members. Someone recently told us that, and I mean a good source, but she was saying that there's a lot more offshoots than what you'd realize that are going fundamentalist because of the progression that the LDS church is taking.
So I don't know that there will be much of, I guess, other polygamous groups in that forming, maybe, but I do think there will be religious groups starting to form that may not do the polygamy thing or believe in polygamy, practicing polygamy, but they probably will start their own religions or their own groups and churches based on the fundamentals of the original church that Joseph Smith restored.
Yeah, and a lot of the church doctrinal teachings.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
great questions, James. Question. Oh my goodness. Can I give you like a gold star? You're asking really good. If you don't like your ward, are you not allowed to go to another church? You can. But it's kind of discouraged in the sense that, like, if they find out you're not going to your ward because of a problem, they're going to try to find out what the problem is, and there'll be church leaders that are like, why are you not comfortable there? And they'll try really hard to have you go within your proper zones if they can help it.
Yes, because there's so much that goes on within a ward, and
it's just trying to keep it orderly.
Right,
basically.
they want to keep it all organized and know, you know, where people are and where they belong, I guess you could say, and all of that. So.
And a lot of that is like, there's like home teaching. Well, now it's called ministering, but there used to be home teaching and visiting teaching. So there are people assigned to like check on you and see how you are. And it's really meant to be a close, like, knit community. Right. And so if you're going to a different ward, if your records aren't in that ward, they're not going to be able to, like, keep track of you, and I don't mean that in a weird way, but like be able to well, it does sound weird no matter how it is.
Like, how do I word this?
Yeah, no, it's their way of being able to like make sure that you have people to come check on you and to make sure that you're okay and to be there for you as a sense of community.
And I mean, we can't pass up the fact that if someone stops going to church, they will come check on you and see why and try to get you to come back. You know, that's a thing as well.
Yeah.
So.
Panguitch had more churches than stoplights. Yeah.
Aaron, you're right. That is very true.
Hi, Minnesota. How big is
Hello
genealogy in the
there.
FLDS?
Hi,
Elizabeth.
handsome. The
handsome.
next child has come to visit.
Hi. Let's finish up these questions and then we better go soon.
Yeah, we better get going here. It's been over an hour
How
now.
big's genealogy in the FLDS?
It's big, but it's more within the family. There's not like an organization for the church in the FLDS that really does it. But a lot of the people, like my own father, for example, he is very big into genealogy, and he's traveled the country and tried to bring information together and keep track of all of that. So, but in the LDS church, they do have a lot of programs and a lot of things that they do to keep track of all of that, as I'm sure you're probably aware.
Okay, well, babe, I'm going to let you finish this up. Landon wants cocoa milk. Do you want to finish or do you want me to finish?
Well, let's see here. Maybe we can just, there's not a whole lot here. Maybe we can just
Wish
finish
could have
it up
met you
really
when I was in
fast.
St. George. You're always welcome here. Oh, thank you,
Thank
Florida.
you so much from Florida.
Yeah, Warren's brothers, it's surprising they didn't fight harder because, yes, Warren was not the eldest son, but he
there were
was his
some-
father's.
There were some that did fight, I guess you could say. Sorry, there were some that did fight, I guess you could say, but because Warren was the face of the community at that point, I guess you could say, the community followed Warren, and so it didn't really matter what his brothers said. It was a done deal.
When we left, were there members that followed us or would spy on us to try to get us back? So we actually left at the same time that we moved out of state, and so we didn't really have that problem.
Yeah.
So no, nothing
so I don't
weird.
know, not that we noticed.
Uruguay. Oh, thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. We love that you're watching us. Thanks for being here.
When Warren Jeff dies, maybe we should do a video on that. What will happen when Warren Jeff dies?
I think it's going to be quite a bit of different people standing up and saying that they're in charge now. So
Everybody's
there may
so
be,
splintered already.
Right. There may be a lot of groups that form at that point. So, but yes, we can do more a video on that. You're welcome, Diane. Glad that our answer was good for you.
Sam has he's one of 15 siblings that have left. I think that was somebody's. So
Yes.
about half of his siblings have left.
Yeah. So I've had a lot that have left, still a lot that are there though. So we'll see. I'm still holding out hope for some more to unite with us.
We
soon.
haven't, oh sorry, not trying to talk over you.
No, you're fine.
We haven't seen the sister wives, so we do not know how representative that is. But hi, Montana. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shauna.
Yes, thank you.
And yes, non-members. Hey, sweetie, can you go in the other room for just a couple more minutes, please?
We're almost done here. We're finishing.
A non-member can definitely visit an LDS church for a service. Any Sunday you can go
Anytime.
in. Yeah, absolutely.
Anytime.
You can go see for yourself.
The LDS church encourages that actually. So.
Yeah. Have you done an Ancestor DNA test? Yes, we have. Maybe that would be a fun video too. We'll reveal our DNA.
Very interesting, actually.
Yeah.
I love this stuff. We both do. So that might be a good, fun video to do a little bit more about that.
Okay. How it's for the church LDS and Christian and it's more freedom. Yeah. Being a Christian definitely comes with a lot more freedom to choose.
Yeah.
A lot of
true.
things. The 2 kids, 3 and 5, love seeing y'all's kids. Oh,
Oh,
thanks.
it's the same ages as ours. So.
Yeah, 3 and 5. Oh, thank you guys so much.
Thank you all.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you all so much. Sorry we're kind of leaving abruptly, but we promised the kids that we'd be done by the time their show was. And as you can hear, their show is over, and so
they're
therefore
ready for
ours
us.
needs to be.
We're sorry if we missed any of your questions, but we will be back doing more lives and more videos. So feel free to leave any more comments and questions, though, in the channel, and we'll look forward to answering any more of those as soon as possible.
And we'll talk to y'all soon.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Have a good
night,
night,
everyone.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.